My friends, there are moments in history when the trajectory of a nation bends toward greatness. Moments when the world pauses to watch because something powerful, something transformative is unfolding. Today, the story of India stands at such a moment. A story of a billion dreams, of resilience that has been tested, and of determination that refuses to fade. And what we see before us is not just a country rising, but a people declaring to the world that they are ready to lead. The foundation of any nation that aspires to rise to greatness lies in its vision, in its ability to dream of what is possible and then move with intention toward that future. A nation that carries no vision, no higher purpose, remains trapped in the struggles of the present, unable to see beyond the challenges of today. Vision is what gives direction. It is the compass that transforms ordinary people into builders of extraordinary futures. When a country dares to imagine a tomorrow greater than its today, it plants the seeds of destiny. The world has shown time and again that no amount of wealth, no size of army, and no temporary advantage can outlast a people who are united by a dream, a mission that stirs their spirit and compels them to work toward it every single day. Vision is what allows a farmer in the countryside, a teacher in a classroom, an engineer in a lab, and an entrepreneur in a small office to believe they are all contributing to something much larger than themselves. It inspires discipline, it fuels innovation, and it ignites courage. A vision is what transforms challenges into stepping stones, failures into lessons, and sacrifices into investments. The future is not created by accident. It is created by those who see it first in their minds and then bring it into reality with persistence and determination. It is vision that allows a nation to look beyond the noise of the present, beyond the criticisms of doubters, and beyond the doubts of skeptics. It allows a people to say, yes, the road may be long, yes, the challenges may be great, but the destination is worth every struggle. Without vision, progress stalls, but with vision, mountains are moved, barriers are broken, and possibilities become realities. A superpower is not declared by title, it is earned by aligning a nation's energy, talent, and will around a shared belief in what can be achieved. That is where true power begins, when millions can see the same horizon and march toward it with conviction. The true wealth of a nation is not buried beneath its soil, nor is it confined within its borders. It is found in its people. The greatest resource any country can possess is the strength, creativity, and determination of its citizens. History has shown us that nations that rise to prominence are those that invest not just in buildings or machines, but in minds and hearts. When a country empowers its people with education, when it equips them with the tools to think critically, to solve problems, and to innovate, it builds an unstoppable force that no barrier can contain. The brilliance of a scientist working late into the night, the dedication of a doctor serving in a rural village, persistence of an entrepreneur starting with almost nothing, and the courage of a soldier guarding the border. All of these individuals together become the backbone of progress. A nation's people carry within them the ability to adapt, to overcome, and to reinvent themselves when the world changes around them. They are the dreamers who imagine what doesn't yet exist, and the builders who bring those dreams into reality. The strength of human capital is not measured in numbers alone, but in the spirit of resilience, in the willingness to sacrifice today for the promise of tomorrow, and in the courage to stand firm when difficulties arise. When citizens are united in purpose, when they share a sense of responsibility not only for their own success, but for the collective good, they become more than just individuals. They become the very engine of transformation. No nation becomes a superpower by chance. It becomes one when its people rise each day with determination, when they believe that their efforts, however small, contribute to something far greater than themselves. And when those people are supported with opportunities, with platforms to grow, with systems that value their potential, then the power of that nation is limitless. It is the will of the people that bends the arc of history. It is their hands that shape the destiny of their land, and it is their hearts that carry the flame of progress forward. A nation's rise is determined not by the strength of its weapons, nor by the size of its borders, but by the depth of its vision. Vision is what transforms a country from simply existing in the present to actively shaping the future. It is the power to see beyond immediate obstacles, to recognize possibilities where others see limitations, and to build a roadmap toward a destiny greater than anyone could have imagined. When a people share a common vision, it becomes a unifying force, binding together different backgrounds, different languages, and different traditions into one shared purpose. Vision inspires leaders to think not just of their time, but of generations yet to come. It is what drives investments in education, innovation, and infrastructure, knowing that the fruits of those efforts may not be seen today, but will one day carry the nation to unprecedented heights. Without vision, progress is scattered. directionless, and fragile. With vision, even the smallest steps taken forward are part of a grand journey that can change the course of history. Vision empowers people to endure challenges with patience because they understand that every sacrifice, every effort, and every act of resilience is moving them closer to that greater goal. It ignites the imagination of the youth, reminding them that they are not merely inheriting a country but building a future. It gives strength to communities, showing them that their struggles are not in vain, but part of a story much larger than themselves. A clear vision doesn't just inspire, it demands action. It fuels innovation, and it reminds people that their destiny is not dictated by others, but written by their own hands. When a nation sees itself as capable of greatness, when it believes in a future filled with possibility, it creates a momentum that no external power can suppress. That momentum builds over time, growing stronger with each generation that embraces the call to dream bigger, work harder, and refuse to settle for less than the best that their country can achieve. Strength is not simply measured by the size of an army or the wealth of a treasury. It is reflected in the character of a people and the unity they uphold when times are tested. True strength emerges not when everything is easy, but when challenges appear overwhelming. And yet, a nation refuses to bend. It is found in the resilience of workers who rise each morning to provide for their families, in the determination of students who study late into the night to create a better tomorrow, and in the resolve of leaders who choose principle over popularity. Strength is the ability to stand firm in one's values even when the world pressures you to compromise. It is the quiet courage of a society that chooses dignity over mission, progress over fear, and unity over division. It is not about dominating others, but about refusing to be dominated, about shaping your own destiny with confidence and clarity. When a nation embraces its strength, it becomes unshakable because it no longer relies solely on external validation or fleeting approval. Its foundation is built upon the unbreakable bond between its people, who share the belief that their destiny is worth fighting for. Strength fuels innovation because it takes courage to break away from the familiar and build something new. It drives independence because it demands that no other power dictate the course of your future. It fosters pride because every citizen can see themselves reflected in the resilience of their nation. Strength also teaches humility because true power is never reckless. It is measured, patient, and purposeful. It does not need to shout loudly to be recognized. Its presence is felt through consistency, determination, and an unrelenting will to endure. This kind of strength cannot be manufactured overnight. It is cultivated through generations of perseverance, through struggles that tested the spirit but never broke it, and through victories that were earned not by shortcuts but by sacrifice. When such strength is embraced collectively, no setback is permanent, no obstacle insurmountable, and no vision too distant to achieve. Progress is never the result of standing still or clinging to what is comfortable. It is born from the willingness to move forward even when the path ahead is uncertain. A nation that embraces progress understands that growth requires sacrifice, that the familiar must sometimes give way to the unfamiliar, and that every breakthrough begins with the courage to take the first step. Progress is not a single achievement, but a journey, one that demands patience, vision, and resilience. It is reflected in the willingness of communities to adapt, to wait, learn, and to innovate when the world changes around them. It is found in the efforts of teachers shaping the minds of future generations, in entrepreneurs daring to create industries where none existed before, and in leaders who choose to see tomorrow not as a threat, but as an opportunity. Progress does not come without struggle, for every advancement carries with it the weight of resistance, doubt, and fear. Yet it is precisely in the face of those challenges that true transformation occurs. A progressive nation refuses to remain trapped in the mistakes of the past. Instead, it learns from them, using them as stepping stones towards something greater. Progress also demands inclusion, for no society can truly move forward if parts of its population are left behind. Every citizen must see themselves as part of the shared journey, their voice valued, their contributions recognized. It is through progress that innovation thrives, technology evolves, and opportunities multiply. But progress is not only measured in material wealth, it is also reflected in fairness, justice, and the dignity afforded to every individual. It requires the courage to challenge outdated systems, the determination to build new frameworks, and the belief that tomorrow can indeed be better than today. Progress is not about perfection, it is about movement, about refusing to let fear dictate destiny. It is about the young person daring to dream, the worker striving to improve, and the community determined to rise together. And while the road to progress may often be long and filled with obstacles, every step forward, no matter how small, brings the vision of a stronger, more united, and more prosperous future closer to reality. Leadership is not about titles, power, or control. It is about vision, responsibility, and the courage to act when others hesitate. True leadership is found in the ability to inspire people toward a purpose greater than themselves, to unify diverse voices under a single direction, and to carry the weight of difficult decisions with integrity. It is not the loudest voice in the room that leads effectively, but the one that listens deeply, understands fully, and chooses wisely. Leadership requires the strength to face criticism, the humility to admit mistakes, and the determination to keep moving forward even when the path is uncertain. A leader does not simply point the way, they walk it, setting an example through discipline, perseverance, and unwavering commitment. Leadership means taking responsibility not just when things go well, but especially when challenges arise, when setbacks occur, and when doubt creeps in. It is in those moments that true leaders reveal their character, not through empty promises, but through steady action, patience, and resilience. Great leadership also depends on trust, for no leader stands alone. They are carried forward by the belief and support of those they serve. To earn that trust requires honesty, fairness, and the willingness to place the needs of the people above personal gain. Leadership is also about vision, the ability to see beyond the present, to imagine what could be, and to communicate that vision in a way that ignites hope and drives action. It requires courage to challenge the status quo, to make unpopular choices when necessary, and to hold firm to values even in the face of opposition. But above all, leadership is about service. The strongest leaders are not those who demand loyalty, but those who inspire it through their willingness to give, to uplift, and to create opportunities for others to rise. Leadership is tested in times of crisis, defined in times of uncertainty, and remembered for the way it transforms lives and shapes futures. It is not a position to be taken lightly, but a calling that demands resilience, empathy, and the steadfast belief that together people can overcome obstacles and achieve the extraordinary.